Don't miss Good American Family.
We have a little girl here for adoption. She has dwarfism.
Starring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass.
Something is off.
She's just a little girl. You think she's faking?
She has adult teeth. There are signs of puberty.
Inspired by the shocking stories that tore a family apart.
I don't know what's going on.
How old are you? You should get a lawyer. You have no idea how those people hurt this girl.
The Hulu original series, Good American Family. New episodes Wednesdays, streaming on Hulu.
This new year, why not let Audible expand your life by listening? Explore over 1 million audiobooks, podcasts, and exclusive Audible originals that'll inspire and motivate you. Tap into your well-being with advice and insight from leading professionals and experts on better health, relationships, career, finance, investing, and more. Maybe you want to kick a bad habit or start a good one. If you're interested in learning how to master your emotions and hearing scientifically backed advice for using your emotions as a tool, may I suggest Shift by psychologist and bestseller author Dr. Ethan Kross? Trust me, listening on Audible can help you reach the goals you set for yourself. Start listening today when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
This episode brought to you by the following patrons. Oh God, she's back again. Leaf Girl, Min, Jason, Sex Caliber Bones a lot, Madeline, Alyssa, Vixen, Holly, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Logan, Libby, Kristen, Tia, and Jonathan. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group that is protected by a steel covering, so we will stay safe from the Comet. And we hang out daily. So join us there, guys.
If you were the last man on earth with two chicks, like you would bring it up, right? You would be like, hey.
Oh, until the last frame of this film, I'm like, are they going to bring up the idea of threesomes? Because it's a dark future, but it's pretty bright for that guy.
That's all I can think about the whole film. Like, I'm just like,
I
hey,
thought about it like halfway through too.
I'm pretty sure at one point Samantha propositions Reg on some level, which is her sister.
Oh, are they sister? I thought they were just like close friends.
No, they're sisters.
Wait, we gotta start the podcast first.
Thank you for tuning in to Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm your Horror Virgin Todd, which means I don't like watching scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. But this week, Mikey joined us again so we could watch Night of the Comet. So, Mikey, have you seen this movie before? Because there's a theme building in Mikey Movie Month of Mikey movies Mikey hasn't seen.
No, I saw this one. I've seen this one a lot.
Okay.
Mikey's been trying to do this on the podcast for like 2 years, and it's not that we didn't want to, it just never fit anywhere.
I didn't know it was a Christmas movie, or I would have fit it in on a Christmas time.
I mean, honestly, it is the perfect Christmas horror movie because it doesn't really mention it, and it's like not brought up at all, but occasionally someone's wearing a Santa suit.
Or occasionally someone's like, tomorrow is Christmas. Like, that's it.
Yeah, but that thing's a pre-recorded radio station that was recorded probably a year and a half ago.
Who knows?
Also, that's such a weird way to say it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Tomorrow is Christmas, and all through the town, a comet is coming. Like, yeah, bonkers.
So when was the first time you saw it, though, Mikey?
Oh, as a child on TNT or USA while I played Legos. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Great. Paige, was this your first time?
No. I, too, have seen this many times on television.
Wow, okay.
But as an adult, not as a child. And I had never seen the ending. I always came in through like the first act or them in the mall. Like that's where I always end up catching it on TV. And I will say that I feel like there's 40 minutes of story in a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
We see it all the time. However, B,
it's great.
I love the vibes and the visuals of this movie.
Same.
I almost think to a degree I like the vibes more than the movie itself, but the movie's still a good time. There's just a lot of like wasted time in the movie, but it's in cool neon places. And so, like, who am I to argue, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole lot of what the fuck is going on in this movie.
100.
But it's also so entertaining that, like, I am fine. I'm fine with it.
Oh, yeah. It's the perfect TV movie, honestly.
Yes. Because when you come back from commercial, you're like, oh, is this like a Dharma project? Well, whatever.
Yeah, what's going on?
Whatever. It's fine.
What's with the maze on the trucks? I don't know.
It's a pretty easy maze, too. But this movie, like, it seems to only be, like, asking questions. It's never going to answer. What the fuck is happening?
It answers all the questions.
No,
what are you
Mikey,
trying to answer?
no.
Everything.
No.
What are your questions? I'm going to answer them right now. Give it.
The entire third act is a question. So they're trying to get blood. Is it because they're the survivors? Did they know about the comet ahead of time? Where are they? Are they in the desert? Are they trying to survive as a race? Are they trying to repopulate the earth?
I will answer all your questions. One, there are scientists who thought the comet was going to kill anybody. Yes, they were in a bunker in the desert.
Okay.
They left their air vents on, so they got slowly infected.
I did catch that part. Yes.
Holy shit. Is this if, like, Heaven's Gate was sort of right?
Yes, sort of. That's why they're in jumpsuits.
Yeah, kind of. But they were real. And then the main scientist was like, I think we can make a cure out of blood.
The people who survived, who have been exposed, that aren't showing symptoms. Okay, so it's Planet Terror.
Uh-huh.
Got it. That was my main question.
Well, no, this came like 30 years before.
Yeah, this came out way ahead of Planet Terror. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying Planet Terror probably stole from this, but like that's the basis of like something we've already done on the show before.
Granted, that plot is that's it.
That's it.
And it was only there at the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Only a little bit.
It's like, mostly just like
vibes.
Last Man on Earth vibes, you know?
Vibes. Yeah, no, Todd and I, while you were on the phone, Todd and I agreed that this movie is largely vibes, but we ain't mad at it. And it's the perfect TV movie.
Great soundtrack.
Because of it. Great soundtrack that is mixed way too loud. The entire movie.
Disagree.
You can't even hear dialogue sometimes.
I know, it's perfect.
You don't need to until the third act, Paige.
Yeah, what is happening before the third act other than just like a post-apocalyptic nothingness?
I want that cheerleader outfit.
I want every woman to have that.
I did think it was hilarious. They dressed one of the sisters as a cheerleader and put the other one in like a jaunty pirate shirt.
Yeah. Well, it's the 80s.
That's the 80s. Yeah.
It's the 80s.
Jaunty pirate stuff.
I mean, it was great. They both look great.
Blouses.
Yeah.
I think this movie really underestimates the kind of people who do not give a shit about outdoor activities.
Right.
I think there would be more survivors.
Well, but you had to be in steel. You had to be somewhere with steel. So, because he survived because he was in the truck.
Yeah.
She survived because she was in the shed. And then Homegirl survived because she was in the projection room that's steel because film is flammable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's, like, what about concrete? Like the bunker? Like, you could also be underground like those people did.
You could also be underground.
So you could be in a basement.
So wait, Mikey, are you saying right now that, like, maybe the movie does ask a question it never intended to answer?
No, it answers it. It said...
Got him! #logicked.
It asks and then answers it in a way I don't think is real. Because it's like, everybody's outside on Christmas Eve for this comet.
Right. Well, and it shows us the movie takes place in Los Angeles. And so it shows us Los Angeles where it's warm enough to be outside on Christmas.
Yeah, it's true.
And like it talks about a bunch of other places. Like the first place it hits is Newfoundland. And I'm like, those people probably aren't outside at Christmas. But then they try to like walk it back by saying you have to be within steel. But then the bunker people, had their vents not been fucked up, would have been alive. So there's like, where are all the government workers that work underground? And again, this is maybe just my conspiracy theory that a lot of government workers were working underground.
Well, I mean, we do have that whole like base inside of like a mountain in Denver, like Colorado or whatever. Yeah,
NORAD.
Right. Well, and I'm like, the Pentagon has like however many floors above and then a bunch of floors below. So like,
oh yeah,
there'd be fuckloads of people. And this is why when that other kid still survives, I was like, yeah, there'd be survivors. And even within Los Angeles, there'd probably be a lot more survivors, but that's because this movie is mostly vibes, and I don't hate it.
Yeah.
And you don't mean vibes with Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper. You mean...
No, but I feel like that movie could take place in this universe.
It should 100%. Take place in this universe, yes.
Yeah, it's just vibes. It's like, what if a few cool people survived, everybody disappearing?
Yeah. Honestly, it fuels my desire to run through an empty mall.
Yeah.
It does feel sort of like they wanted to do like a zombie, like... Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
With like a Chopping Mall kind of campy, silly vibe.
Including a cast member from Chopping Mall, yes.
Oh, wait, really?
Uh-huh.
Yes. The younger sister was in Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I forgot it that she was in Chopping Mall. Okay.
Yes,
I badly
yes.
wanted it to be Willie, who is my favorite villain out of any movie I've ever seen ever, and I mean this, because he very clearly is just like a psychopath.
Yes.
And is loving it. Like, he's a psychopath
Yes.
that knows he's a psychopath, and he loves being a psychopath.
You mean Stockboy Willie that just rises
Yes.
up an army of stock boys to take over the mall? I was like, this is the realest thing of it. As a retail worker, 100%.
Yes.
100%. They're finally on top.
With a retail worker with the vibe of, I'm not crazy, I just don't give a fuck, is exactly what retail
love
does
it
to
so
a person. So I was like, I love Willie. I think everyone who's ever worked retail should have a shirt with Willie's face on it and that quote above it.
I have wanted to write a like zombie or creature feature or something that's like attack the block at the mall forever, but like at Christmas. Like a Christmas, like mall catastrophe horror, right? For years. And I've just never gotten around to it. And I always have like notes about it of like who's banging who and who survives and why, just in the landscape of the mall.
Those are the notes you keep. Who's banging who?
The notes. Who's banging who? But I do feel like this movie nails one of them, which is just like the people most equipped to survive are the stock workers. And like an army of stock workers is hilarious. I do love it. Even though they turn kind of evil, don't care. Love watching it. Could watch a whole movie of it. I should get to writing that.
That part also kind of made sense that they turned evil.
I think also you need to understand, Todd, that the survivors were chosen by Zordon of Power Rangers because they're all teenagers with attitude.
This checks out. No notes.
I'm the only person who watched Star Trek Voyager and was like, that guy's the guy from Night of the Comet.
Oh shit, that's where I know him from.
He's Chakotay.
I was watching this. I was like, who is that guy? Voyager, 100%.
I do think, like, missing a once-in-a-lifetime extinction-level cosmic light show just so you can, like, have sex in a semi-public place is such a high school move. I was like, oh, they're definitely still in high school. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if I would turn that down now. I mean,
let me tell you how many eclipses I've seen in the last 5 years. Full zero.
Paige, get out, man. Touch grass or whatever. Although, same.
I've got sex to have. What are you talking about?
I think what I hate the most about this film is that it's called Night of the Comet, but this movie takes place at least a week.
Yeah, and a week after the comet, technically.
Does it? It seems like it takes place over 2 days, which is wild because then that like Dharma Project full group cult thing at the end, like came up with the whole like protocol for how to handle these people and turn them into like blood bags to get them so they could create an antidote in 2 days or whatever. Like
they went real Cyberdyne like overnight.
They were planning this. Like I think that these two things are not related.
No.
The comet came and they did a virus or something. I don't know.
Right.
No, I just think they just were like, we got to steal all their blood. And that one lady was like, no, we should shut the vents. Like we fucked ourselves. We're done.
I mean, and that's why she, I guess, killed herself, right?
Yeah, I mean, I viewed her sacrifice much like the one at the end of Horizon Zero Dawn, where she was like, look, I can't shut the doors from the inside. I have to do it from the outside. And I got to stop them from taking these kids' blood to try and make a serum. If they survive, they survive. I've done all I can do.
Yeah.
Dead.
Well, and it is revealed that she, like, saved Samantha's life.
She saved Samantha 100%.
So she is, like, truly a great character.
Yeah.
And is fully gonna die in, like, 48 hours, painfully, it seems. So, like, I get it, you know? But we'll talk about that as we go through it. I just thought it was wild that we, like, had a movie from 1984 that proved that what happened to Lot's wife 4,000 years ago actually happened, and it could happen again.
Deep cut Bible references,
Thank you! Thank you!
Don't turn around!
Are you saying that they all turn into Himalayan sea salt that's red?
That's what I saw on the screen.
That is what I saw as well, yeah. But I mean, who knew what they called salt back in the day?
It looks kind of more like the taco powder you get in packets at the grocery store.
It does.
It's too shiny for that.
It's too shiny.
It's taco powdered glitter.
It's just a bunch of bronzer.
They honestly just went to like a red desert, picked up sand and brought it back. Like it has to be something that low rent.
I think it's either that or they just dyed flour or something because flour is really easy to dye.
Oh, yeah, it could also be that because it is sort of that consistency.
Yeah.
Either way, I thought it was hilarious.
Wait, but that's what happens when people liquefy or dry out or whatever they said that happens.
Yes, they get reduced to calcium deposits, guys.
Yes. Yes.
Which, like, I don't know. They don't explain what's happening.
They don't.
So it just goes from, like, sexy Comet. And I say sexy Comet because you guys saw the tail on that thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
No, but, like, as it's going through the sky and everyone's turning into Lot's wife, a.k.a. Salt
Bay.
They're playing, like, sexy saxophone music.
If there's gonna be an apocalypse, I would prefer the bodies disappear because if you're stuck with just billions of bodies around you.
You're assuming you're going to survive, but yes, if I survive, the best kind of apocalypse is rapture.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want the Left Behind scenario where you can just go around collecting gold fillings, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I like this scenario where they just blow away.
Like Endgame?
Yeah.
Like, no, Spider-Man, no.
Oh.
Spoiler alert for Endgame.
Oh, come on. You guys have had like a decade.
Spider-Man's had 2 movies since then.
Since then. He came back. Tony Stark, RDJ is maybe back for a thing later. There's been like 20 movies and 4 TV shows since then.
Yeah, who's got the time?
2 have been good.
Yeah, a handful of them have been good.
Who's does at the time?
Yeah, but I don't know. Gold fillings is nice because then you could get all the gold fillings.
Oh.
But like, yeah, dust would be everywhere. And then when it rains, I'm like, so all of that ended up in the water supply. So that's not great.
It's just calcium.
I guess. I mean, I feel like I've got enough calcium given my cheese intake. I feel like I'm calced up.
I think you'd be fine. I think you'd be fine. There's enough bottled water to get you through for a few months.
True. I want the Cyberdyne one where we make mountains of skulls and row over them with tanks.
That's a lot of work.
That seems like a lot of like finding the right skull shapes, and then we're talking phrenology, and then who's the villain, really?
I mean, the tank don't care, right?
Well, if you want to stack them perfectly to get the proper like crush to turn those skulls into a fine meal powder, you know.
True, to the most satisfying crunch. But that means in the dust of the skull pyramids, I might find my Kyle Reese, so.
Worth it.
And we all know that like the real true Terminator now, it would just be a giant Roomba sweeping those skulls away for the tank.
Oh my God. Apocalypse Roombas, my favorite.
I'm picturing it all in like Futurama art style, but it's like a like a Roomba style spaceship just comes and lands on a city and is like sweeping up people. Not my dust! Not my dust!
It accidentally goes into the ocean. Error.
Well, you've still got the Terminator robots, but then they've made Roombas that are like skulls identified as trash, must clean.
Just like going around bumping into the buildings of New York and then turning around, picking up, and then like, oh, President, a second Roomba has hit the Twin Towers.
Or what's left of them. One of my favorite online things is, and I don't know who to credit this post to, but it was somebody that was house sitting and they left the door open and the Roomba got out. And they were like, oh no, be free.
Have you ever had to chase a Roomba down a street, guys? It is embarrassing.
Especially because they're pretty slow.
Sidewalks never been nicer, though.
Giant Roomba. I love it. That is definitely how we're all going to die after AI decides we're like not useful anymore.
It won't be AI that decides that. Once like personal robotics gets to a point where they can replace the average worker, the rich are just going to kill us off.
There you go.
Through some sort of plague and then survive it.
Just like we saw in that documentary with the guy from 365 and Megan Fox.
Oh shit.
Subservience.
I mean, yeah, it was going to get there. It wasn't quite there yet in that movie. By the way, Mikey, have you seen Severance? Or what is it? Not Severance.
Subservience.
Have you seen Subservience?
I've seen both.
Mikey has seen Severance, but we can't talk about it because you're not caught up.
I did start watching it.
My big question with that film was obviously you want your nanny bot to have a vagina.
See, this was the opposite of what we said, where we were like, who put a vagina in this thing?
What?
No, Paige, I think our stance was it was definitely a cloaca.
Yeah, that's true. We did align on cloaca. Go ahead, Mikey.
I mean, because I could just see couples buying that robot from across the bar. You know what I'm saying?
She cooks and cleans. Honestly, though, okay, Okay. You got to get a pair.
At some point, it should just be like a pear-shaped robot.
Oh, you mean the robot from the Jetsons? Because
Yeah.
listen, I'm listening. Go on.
Look, Rosie could clean a house.
Rosie had some curve.
Yo, Rosie could cook and clean. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
In the future, I just think if you make hot robots, someone is going to try to have sex with them.
Sure, of course.
Mikey, people are trying to fuck robots now. Paige did an ad for an auto blow. Like, yes.
I did an ad for auto blow not too long ago.
And she came on to him too a little bit, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did you see him though? Like you understood that though, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, I get it.
That's right. Like, it's $365 in a Carhartt jacket. It's like, sign me up, please. Thank you.
I mean, she basically came up and was like, your wife's so sick and pale. Like, just have sex with me.
Oh, she's the worst.
yeah, that's what Machine Gun Kelly said. Anyway, we should get back to this movie.
Oh, bro.
She's like, I won't be hospitalized. I've got Norton antivirus.
That dude legit went crazy.
That's the worst antivirus software out there.
Yeah, I mean,
It's basically its own virus.
Anyway, in this film, the most unrealistic part of this is like this hot chick loving an arcade game that much.
Hey, I've been on TikTok. I see the gamer ladies. That's not unrealistic. They out here, they got the big titties and the high slits in the skirts.
Yeah, they say click here for exclusive content.
Yep.
Mikey, don't fall for that trap.
But it's them like Twitch streaming in a bikini and stuff. Like, they can still game, man. They can game.
Yeah, that's why people are there. And
I know it's not, but I'm just saying that don't diminish their talent. Like, they can still crush that game.
Paige, you're talking to a partner Twitch streamer who like fully did not care about that shit that was going on at the time. Like, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I just couldn't exploit that aspect because I ain't got it like that.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Go off, ladies.
Todd, I have a question for you before we start.
Do it.
It's a money-related question.
Hit me.
And I want to know if you looked this up before we started recording. In the beginning of the film, the manager of the movie theater is trying to sell Comet ears, like Mickey ears.
Yes.
For $9.
Okay.
Oh, like highway robbery in 1980. What is this, 88, 84?
How much money is that now?
Mikey, are you assuming that I am such a nerd that I already looked that answer up?
Yes, I did. I hoped for it.
I did. It's $27.52. Of course I looked it up, Mikey, because that seems like a lot for some shitty antenna springs, but whatever.
And he's like, oh, both springs are springy. And I was like, oh my God, $9? I wouldn't, $27? Oh.
It's $27, bro. Yeah.
When my dad and I drove the extraterrestrial highway, we both bought alien glasses that make your eyes look like alien eyes, and those were $8 a piece in 2025 dollars. So $9 doodly bops. No, we ain't featuring that today.
Yeah, and will not in the future. But maybe we should just go through this movie scene by scene, guys.
Yes. We open on... Honestly, the opening of this movie is done really fucking well, where it's like a combo of like news reports, radio, live footage of people who they're like, a comet's coming by. It's an extra Christmas present this year. And it doesn't feel like exposition, but it gives us all we need to know. Because they're also like, indeed, we haven't seen this since the time of the dinosaurs. And that doesn't seem like a coincidence at all.
Well, they obviously weren't there at that time, but they were like based on the trajectory, that was the last time it was here.
Right.
Around the same time, all the dinosaurs went extinct. Also, where did all this salt come from around that time?
Well, and I love that
it's oil.
It's oil, but it's also like the people in the beginning of, why have we not done Independence Day? Fuck.
Wait, can we?
Yeah, dude.
Is it a horror movie?
I would call that a horror movie. It scared the shit out of me as a kid. We did Jurassic Park. Anyway, all the people on the top of that building that are like, welcome aliens, and then they just get straight up murdered. Like, that's these people in the beginning of this movie with like, I heart the comet signs. Yay.
I mean, they have like a fucking party in the street with like catering. Like they were having a blast with this thing.
Everyone was excited for the fucking comet, which you shouldn't be. They only exist to murder us. But we cut to the El Rey Theater, which is a real ass theater. We could drive by it the next time you guys are in Los Angeles. It's more of like a performance-y theater, but they use it as a movie theater in this movie. where she works in the theater and is just in the lobby playing a, what's the name of this? A game.
An arcade game?
Cabinet. It's a game cabinet.
Oh, yeah, like an 80s styles arcade.
Yes. Yeah. And he's selling those $9 headbands. Ooh. Highway robbery. But she notices that somebody, DMK, that'll be important later, has taken one of her high score slots.
I realize it comes back later.
Yes.
But can we even say it's important? Like, it's such like a, oh, that's who that was.
Yeah.
But yeah. Although I'll say this, I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, I loved the flip.
Yeah, me too.
Her boss is basically like, hey, can you do your job and like walk the house, make sure that like there's no trash and the people are getting out so we can finish up this screening because people got to get out to get murdered by the comet. And she's like, fine, and grabs the flashlight and the bag of popcorn at the end of the night, which if you work in a movie theater, you know that's the best because people get sick of popcorn because they just give it away at the end of the night to workers and stuff.
In college, I dated a girl who worked in a movie theater, and at night, I would go get like a huge bag of popcorn.
Yep.
And then I would sell that shit on the street.
Oh, really?
That's how I paid for college.
What? Is this real? Or
yeah, movie theater popcorn's expensive as shit, Paige.
It is. I'm asking if this is a joke or not. Like, I was like, this sounds possible.
No, it's definitely a joke, Paige. I can't be out here like, yo, my man. You want some popcorn balls? They were fresh yesterday, but I added a little sugar to it, and they stuck together.
Now it's like kettle corn. This was my college roommate for a while, dated a guy who was a manager at the local theater.
Nice.
And he would, let us in after the theater was closed to watch whatever we wanted. Either stuff they had, or he had, like, one of their theaters had, like, a DVD player, so we could just bring anything and watch it on the screen. And then he would give us giant bags of popcorn. This was like, it was awesome, honestly, for, cool. Thanks for that, Alex, back in the day, I guess.
I worked in a theater in high school and I ate so much popcorn for free that I stopped. I no longer get movie theater popcorn.
Really? That doesn't surprise me.
I don't really get movie theater popcorn unless Natalie's with me because Natalie likes it.
I love it.
Now, Regal has a thing called
Pepsi, which is why I don't go there.
Well, yes, but also the Cheetos popcorn.
And they have a hot Cheetos popcorn too, where they put real Cheetos in it and sprinkle it with cheese powder.
Yeah.
And it's only 420 calories.
That's a shame I'll never experience it.
Yeah, I hate Pepsi stuff too.
But here's the thing. If you go to AMC has the Coca-Cola pick whatever you want machines. Great. But they have a thing where they'll mix caramel and cheddar popcorn, and that mix is my favorite. Oh, eating those together, my favorite.
If that wouldn't murder my wife, I would definitely do that every time because that shit sounds amazing.
It's fucking incredible.
I may have to get separates next time.
I mean, do it. And they'll I guess typically people order one or the other, amateurs. I make them mix it, and they're just like, hell yeah, bitch. Like, they're excited to mix it every time. So fun. It's great.
When I lived in San Diego, the theater that I could walk to, it was like so close to where I lived, did a thing where they gave you like an unlimited popcorn card and you paid like $100 at the beginning of the year. And then anytime you came in, you could get some popcorn for free, right?
That pays for itself pretty fast, actually.
It was great. Yeah. So that we did it. Like I paid the $100, so we did it. I found out about 6 months into it, my honestly really good friend and neighbor Rich had just been stopping by on his way home from work to get popcorn almost daily.
Oh God, I couldn't eat popcorn daily.
And I was like, that is genius.
That's a lot of popcorn. That's a lot of things in your teeth.
He loved it. Anyway,
she takes that bag of popcorn and she heads up through the house up to the projection room. And her boss fully knows that she's going to go bang it out in that projection room with the projectionist, which honestly, she could do better. But like, he says he's doing to her in that projection room what he's doing to me in my business or
he's fucking him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or stiffing him maybe or whatever. But like either way, it's not good for him. Great for her, I guess.
But he's just like, yeah, go ahead. Get teen pregnant up there. And we cut to the projection room where this dude is stomping a print into a trash can. And I was like, oh no. Like, oh, I know it's flammable, but damn. Okay. But he then is offering to like loan out prints for Comet parties.
Right.
Which is a thing that you really can't do these days because so few things are on actual film.
Right.
This predates a lot of options to watch things at home. So like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was just going to honestly loan out the print for like $110.
Yes.
Which he was like, for $100, no, that's not enough. I'm going to miss the whole light show for that.
Right.
How about $110? Now we're talking, which that to me was funny.
Hysterical.
It was like such a little bump, and he was like, that sounds great.
Why not?
But he's just loaning it out. All he's doing is like, someone's going to come to the back door, he's going to hand him the print, they're going to go make a copy of it, and he's going to get the, original print back in time for the morning show or whatever.
Right.
So he's like, it's all upside for him.
Well, and he turns to our lady friend and is like, hey, will you basically spend the night with me waiting for this print for $15?
Right.
And we don't know when the print is going to come back. We just know it has to be back by 8, but it can come back at any time, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I was going to stay here anyway and have sex with you. Like, that's why I'm up here with all this popcorn. But like, if you pay me, then it feels weird. Like,
well, I'm not paying you for the sex.
I'm paying you to be here. Right.
Do you know what freaks people out is when you say thank you after sex?
Jake and I say thank you almost every time.
I say thank you pretty often.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sex. All right. Well, maybe it's not.
It's nice. It's just common courtesy.
Wait, Mikey, are you saying this to people you haven't yet had sex with? Are you like thanking them in the future? Like,
no.
Like when you're picking them up for the first date, you just like, hey man, I want to get this out of the way. Thank you for the sex later.
I think I'm going too formal. Like right after. I'm just like, thank you for the sexual intercourse.
I think first off, if you want it to be less formal, you're gonna have to take off the fucks-edo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Safe sex is best sex, my friend.
Which is the tiny blazer around your dick. I know Jake and I say that to each other every time, but we usually say thank you for the banging or thanks for the boning.
And then there is normally a request for bacons.
And bacons or toasts.
Yeah.
Toast coitus, and we usually high five and say good job. We're a very supportive couple, okay?
Go team.
That sounds nice, yeah.
Go team.
The last person I hooked up with was like, don't thank me for sex. It makes me feel weird. I don't know.
Had they just turned in like a terrible performance? Like,
yeah, I'm like, you're welcome. I did do a good job.
Yeah.
Both hand and mouth.
If you had foot, you have a whole disease.
Hey, I call that overachieving. Anyway, while they're all out partying for the Comet, we hear where the news reports say, it's supposed to hit Newfoundland first, and we haven't heard any communication from them. Like,
right?
All their comms are dead. Anyway, we'll get back to you with messages from Newfoundland later. And you're like, no,
you won't.
Which makes no sense because the power and all the communications stay on. It's just the people disappear.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like the power and like infrastructure works possibly for years after this, which is insane.
Well, because everything's on a timer, which is great.
Yes.
I do love the like montage we get. We'll touch on it in a bit. That shows what's on and why. And I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do get a brief cut to the scientists where it's like some scientists think that it won't, whatever. But we see them like closing themselves into their bunker.
It's like a room full of people who we don't know and no one says anyone's name. And they're just saying, honestly, the craziest shit you would expect to hear in any Star Trek episode. And you're like, why is this in the movie we're watching?
How many tribbles are there? You know?
It's not as good as Maximum Overdrive Comet stuff, you know?
I don't know. I think this is better than Maximum Overdrive. I loved this movie, honestly.
Blasphemy.
I thought this movie was like the perfect sweet spot of like low budget and like fun B horror movie from the 80s.
But so is Maximum Overdrive. Like, were you telling me?
I know, but Maximum Overdrive is a little over the top, bro. Like the fucking goblin truck.
Yes.
Like I love it. It's hilarious, but it makes it like not as good of a movie to me. I think this is a better done movie.
Oh.
Here's what I'm missing from Maximum Overdrive is a woman who is bereft of her connection to reality. Just going, we made you! Don't do this to us! We made you! That's what's missing for me from this. That and killer trucks.
The zombies are too few and far between.
That is true. I feel like there's not enough zombies.
I think the reason I prefer this movie is because there's no truck-secutioner in it. I think I figured it out.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no evil trucks. That's true.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We haven't talked about that the whole month. So
I'm sure we have.
I'll adjust the brother counter.
yeah, go ahead and reset that back to 1.
We've been resetting it pretty regularly.
I'm pretty sure it was on 1.
This is kind of, if I have to agree to go into an apocalypse scenario, like jump into a movie, this one wouldn't be too bad because there's only like a few zombies and they like die out pretty quick.
It's not even that they're zombies. It's like a late stage of the disease they all sort of got exposed to by the comet. Some people seem to either be immune or like because they were in a steel building unaffected. Like nothing makes sense because nothing's explained, Mikey. But I also didn't care.
It's a less logical version of 28 Days Later.
Kind of, yes.
But that's why I kind of love it because, you know, in 28 Days Later, some of the most effective visuals are those just empty streets of London.
Yes, yeah.
And we get that for Los Angeles, which I think is, and they're in like downtown. Like they're in big, like parts where you'd have to shut the street down and like all kinds of stuff.
They definitely did too.
Yeah, and you never see it like that. And so that's kind of fascinating.
That's cool.
To me. The thing that I do think they didn't do right, and I think they couldn't because of budget, is that there weren't enough abandoned cars.
Yeah.
There's only that one, but there should be like parking lots full of cars.
Yeah. I mean, there would be a shitload of cars all over the place.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end, they even sort of reference that. He's like, do you like the car? And she goes, yeah. And he's like, I got 23.
Yeah. Anyway. So, and what is the main girl's name? I've completely lost it.
Regina or Reg. Everyone calls her Reg.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Which Raj was last week's final guy, right? So now it's a final girl with Reg.
It's Reg.
But it's technically Regina.
Okay. So she calls her stepmother Doris.
Yes.
And gets her sister Sam. And Sam is like, I already fought with Doris today. Y'all on your own. And Doris is like, oh, she wants to stay overnight? Well, let me tell you this. I don't give a fuck what you fucking do. I'm just married to your dad, so as long as you're not fucking dead when I come home or whatever, that's fine. And then Sam is like, also, you're having an affair with the neighbor, and I'm going to tell dad. And then she literally punches her.
Dude, okay. The stepmom slaps Samantha. Samantha slaps her back, and the stepmom punches her in the face.
Full closed fist.
I know. And it's all like just one shot.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so we're just watching casual abuse in the home.
Chuck from across the street, I was like, really? He looks like a King of the Hill character came to life.
Who does?
She likes stability.
There, that's fair. Chuck from across the street.
Oh, yeah. I guess we do see him later.
Yeah, barely. We mostly see the dust in his shoes. Anyway, meanwhile, in the projection room, Reg and Larry, I believe is that guy's name, are having what seems to be pretty underwhelming sexual intercourse. Consensual, but underwhelming.
Right.
And she's like, somebody's going to see us. He's like, no. Meanwhile, the comet passes over and turns everyone into the seeds from La Llorona.
Yeah.
Just piles of seeds.
Everyone gets turned into...
La Brauinia.
Everyone gets turned into salt, more or less.
Yeah, just piles of powder.
Yeah.
Which... I mean, missed opportunity to name this movie Powder.
I think that was taken later, actually.
Yeah.
By a much braver movie that I've honestly never seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway, here's my question, Todd.
Yeah.
Because I could not figure out if they shot this early morning and then were color correcting, or if they shot it night to day and were color correcting night to day.
So I think one of the reasons they literally lay like red film over the exterior shots is because they were shooting it either like super early morning.
Right.
So there was a little bit of light, but not a lot. So they just sort of red toned the like darker sky.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's the easiest way to get them empty, right? Is block them during hours where that's cheaper to do.
When the sun is just coming up, which in Los Angeles is like 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning, where it's not going to be as huge of a deal to close stuff.
Yeah. But I think that's why they shoot it, or that's why they red tone everything when they're outside like that.
I think so too. That was my guess. But they also start to do it sometimes inside.
Yes.
It don't look good. She wakes up in the projector room because he's like, this guy isn't here with his print. I'm about to go like get his ass and find him. And she's like, and I'm not even gonna get an English McMuffin. Like, come on, like I slept on the floor, dude. Like, where's my $15 and my breakfast sandwich?
I mean, not for nothing, but $15 could like definitely buy you an English muffin. That's like $45.86. Yes, I also looked that one up. But
you could Uber Eats one.
You could Uber Eats an English muffin for that.
You want to find out right now? I'll Uber Eats one to my house.
You could buy roughly 10 Egg McMuffins for $45 these days. But back in those days, for $15, you could probably buy 15 for $15.
Yeah.
Maybe even more.
But when she's like, where's my $15? And he's like, talk to the guy I'm looking for. Like, I don't have that money yet because I haven't been paid.
Also, and I'm just realizing this now because I talked to somebody at work today, and Waffle House is now adding a surcharge for anything with eggs in it because we live in a hellscape. And now I'm realizing that maybe you couldn't buy 10 Egg McMuffins for $45. Maybe you could buy like 6.
No, Paige, there's not egg in Egg McMuffins.
There actually is. And I only know this because I follow a TikTok account by someone who works in a McDonald's and illegally films all the shit they do, that they do still use real eggs for Egg McMuffins.
Well, that makes me feel good.
Sure. I mean, an Egg McMuffin's not that terrible for you. You could eat way worse shit, for sure.
And I have.
Yeah. Now, the ones that are like, sometimes they use real eggs for the ones that are all yellow and folded, but Egg McMuffins are the like cracked egg ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Egg McMuffins.
I don't mind them, honestly. They're pretty good. Anyway, so he's like, I'm gonna go find this dude and get you your $15 in an Egg McMuffin. And as he literally walks out the door, a zombie gets him, like, immediately.
But, like, hits him over the head with a wrench twice.
Yeah.
And then drags his body out and then off to under a box so he can eat him.
Yeah.
He didn't go a bad way. Like, he had no idea what happened.
He had some idea, but it was over quickly.
Yeah, I would hope.
I think when he first got hit on the head, he was out, and the second hit probably killed him.
Yeah.
But he was out from that first hit.
Well, first hit's almost always free, as Law and Order says.
Huh. And the guy ate him or something, right?
Yeah.
He was being turned into poop by the time Reg finds him.
Right, because Reg gets up and she rectifies that score situation. She's eating concessions, and eventually she goes to like kind of look outside, and she props the door open with a trash can, and it doesn't hold. It shuts her out of the theater. She looks around the back. She can't get back in, but she does have Larry's keys, which would have A, let her back in.
Yes, it would have.
But also B, connect to the bike. But instead, she like drops them to fight the zombie.
Yeah, she throws. Okay, yes. Paige, yes.
Guys.
She throws them down.
And then dives for them. And I was like, oh, girl.
This is how you know she's a badass, though. Because if like you're about to fight somebody and they have keys in their hands and they drop their keys, you know they are like Nicolas Cage levels of dangerous with their hands because they're more dangerous weapons than those keys would have been.
Yeah, she threw away the keys.
And her dad is a Green Beret. She actually is kind of a badass because her dad's a Green Beret.
Her dad is a Green Beret. Or was a Green Beret.
Now he's fighting with some Sandinistas in Nicaragua.
Yes.
Or I think that she says...
she does say Sandinistas.
She does say Sandinistas. I think she says they were actually in Nicaragua. I think she says Honduras.
Yeah, she says that he's in Honduras. Yes.
Yeah.
If he was in a tank, he made it.
That is true. We don't know. So many unanswered questions.
Oh my God. I want a sequel to this. That is her dad rolling into town in a tank.
Over the Panama Canal.
And I also want a prequel to this that's just like a shot-for-shot remake of this, but the dinosaurs. What had happened to them.
But it's just the cast of dinosaurs.
Dinosaur, the sitcom with this.
Oh shit, that would be hilarious too.
Yes, it's just the cast of Dinosaur, the sitcom.
Wait, didn't that show end with the extinction level event? Like, you might not even need to reshoot it.
Yeah, they have an ice age.
Somebody also had like a new AI thing is to put the cast of dinosaurs into, like, somebody did it for Jurassic Park and like a bunch of stuff.
Oh, it's funny.
Hilarious. But as a prequel to this, yes, that would be incredible.
And yes, the show Dinosaurs ends with like industrialism causing a great ice age that also causes like a bunch of eruptions of volcanoes, which causes the extinction.
Yeah.
Real uplifting.
So what you're saying is Dinosaurs was the warning from the 90s about global warming that we did not listen to.
Real.
Technically, if you Google it now and watch the YouTube of the ending of the Dinosaurs TV show, it is actually pretty on point.
It's one of those things that got less funny over time. You're like, this It sucks to live.
That's why I'm here watching Night of the Comet with y'all, because we're in
Yeah, baby, let's go.
dystopian hellscape and the planet is ending.
Thank you. Still looking for my Kyle Reese, but thank you. He's taking a nap.
Do you know you can go to like Pluto TV or one of these like lesser known apps and watch one of these Mikey movies, and then it'll just show all of their Mikey movies in a row?
Yes, because Jake was doing that as I was like, because I was watching this and he was like, that sounds like a great movie. Because Jake loves this movie. And so he was like rifling through the other options and they were nuts. It was on Pluto. Yeah.
It just keeps going. It just keeps rolling.
So many.
Just like the apocalypse. Back to it.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax.
Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back.
And then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more.
Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today.
An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day.
An expert who will find you every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy.
All so you can get the most money back guaranteed.
No waiting, no wondering, no worries.
Now this is taxes.
Get an expert now on TurboTax.com.
Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
She takes the motorcycle and she literally, as she drives through town, is like, oh shit, it's an apocalypse level event. That's an empty car. There's no one out. Shit's bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. She gets to the house and sees all of the clothes of everyone who was ostensibly standing outside and is like, oh no, everyone's dead. So she goes inside and finds her sister who's just like, I'm getting ready for cheer squad practice, but I can't get anybody on the phone. And she's just like, hey, bitch, they all dead.
And her sister does not believe her because she has had a sister before. And like, I wouldn't believe my sibling either if they said this to me, because as the younger sibling, I got lied to all the time by my older siblings.
Sure.
We were staying at our friend's house. All of us were. Like all three, my two older brothers, this is before he died. Turn it back again.
Twice in one episode. Go for it.
Wow. Here we go.
And we were all like in the same room, and they went up and stole cookies and were eating cookies. And I woke up, and my older brother, when I asked, what are y'all doing? He goes, nothing. You're dreaming. Go back to sleep. And I did.
I've done that one.
I missed out on cookies, Paige.
My sister, probably less so as an adult. I don't know. I don't check in on it. But like, she sleepwalked, or she would fall asleep and talk in her sleep and was highly susceptible. And so one time she was staying in my apartment and I was trying to get her to like go to bed because she'd fallen asleep on the couch. And I just pretended to be our mom. And that worked. I sounded enough alike that I was like, it's mom, go to bed. Go to bed.
Whatever works, baby.
Sometimes we got to lie to you. But in this case, she's not lying. She's like, everybody been done dead outside.
Yes.
Bad.
Yeah.
And this is also where we find out that she and Doris got in the fight about, and she's like, I bet Doris stayed at Chuck's. And she's like, no, Doris is dead in the driveway. She's dust now.
She's literally dust in the wind, guys.
Yes. Dust in the wind. She slept in the lawn shed, which is steel. And that's how she survived.
Yeah.
Which also, gross.
A lot of red flags after her stepmom beats her and she sleeps in the lawn shed.
Well, she said she's like, I ran away, but I didn't actually go anywhere, but I left a note and everything. And then I just went and slept in the lawn shed. And Doris never read that note. Doris been dead in the driveway for hours.
Yeah.
That's what she gets.
But the one thing that I do think is like haunting in the way that 28 Days Later is haunting is that she like drags her sister outside and is like, it's Saturday morning.
Where are the kids?
Where are the kids?
Yeah.
Where are the kids?
I thought that was good too.
I was like, ooh. But they hear a radio station broadcasting. We know it's pre-recorded because we actually heard the guy say that earlier in the movie. But they're like, let's at least go find that signal.
Right.
And see if there's somebody there. But I do love that her sister's like, hey, do you think it happened everywhere? Like Burbank? Which is just one city over and is definitely the neighborhood they're standing in. Like, because in Los Angeles proper, you don't really have houses like where they're standing. Those mostly exist in the valley, aka Burbank. So I thought that was pretty funny that she was like, even to Burbank. Now, they go to this radio station, and the DJ that is pre-recorded identifies himself as Steve LeBeau, which I think must be a reference to a longstanding LA DJ that would have been on the air at the time, Art LeBeau, that had a studio on Sunset.
Okay.
That you could just like go to. So I think that's like an in-joke that they're trying to do. Anyway, they go in, it's pre-recorded, but also there's somebody else there. It is Hector.
Can I ask a question before we start talking about Hector?
Yes, would.
No, that's not the question I was going to ask, but obviously I knew you would. My question is, this whole radio station is built around an autonomous radio DJ.
Right.
Why is the front lobby of the office so opulent, and why does the radio DJ have a desk with a microphone if no one ever sits there and does DJing shit?
I don't think it's a never.
He's the best.
I don't think it's automated all the time. I think it was because of the Comet, because there's a DJ that says during the montage of Comet stuff that's like, oh, I'll just put on the pre-record so I can go out and see the Comet.
Okay.
So I think there normally is.
So that thing's on like a 45-minute loop over and over and over. I would lose my mind listening to that.
I would hope that it's longer than that, like maybe 8 hours or something, but like, yeah, who knows?
Crazy.
But I also think, and this is my theory after seeing this a couple times, because the air quotes lobby of this radio station is decked out for like a party. Like it is a dance club. So I think they may have had a public access show that the movie doesn't explain.
Okay.
But there were definitely things like that in the 80s where it would be like...
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
Radio was different. It was big money. And so they probably just had like cocaine parties up there.
I mean, we all would. It was the 80s, yeah.
It's the 80s.
Who are we to judge?
Not me. But Hector basically is like, who the hell are you guys? Step into the light. Okay, they're not infected. Great. And he basically reveals that he's a truck driver. And he was coming from San Diego. He picked up a girl there. They spent the night in his truck. That's how he survived because of the steel. And then they stopped for gas. They encountered zombies and the girl ran. And by the time he found her, she was dead.
Yeah.
So like all the truck drivers lived in America that night.
Right. Oh my God. So yes, this would be like the opposite of Maximum Overdrive.
The truckers will save us, Paige, just like Muad'Dib said.
They were all at the pilot store waiting for their shower number to come up. Shower number 12, you are open.
That's why they all died. Oh no. I imagine a bunch of truckers survived, but in the movie, it's this one guy and probably others that we just don't see.
But fair enough. If people do disappear, LA is not on my like top 10 list of where I'm headed first.
It depends on the apocalypse, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably avoid bigger cities.
In a zombie apocalypse, yes.
Yes.
In a rapture apocalypse, I'm going to cities because that's where the resources are.
Yes, exactly, Todd.
No, I'm headed straight to the White House.
Straight to the White House? You'll get blown up by some autonomous bullshit. Just go to like a fucking city and go to a grocery store.
Well, and those people went underground and survived. Yeah, exactly. So yes, in a rapture, I'm going to a big city because they're going to have resources for longer and more of them.
Yeah.
And, yes, there are probably other people there, but it's probably not the amount that I would have to fight if I was in a small town with limited resources. But zombie apocalypse, like think about Atlanta in Walking Dead, where it's like a battle to get out of the city.
Right.
Then you want to be in the small town. But yeah, I agree. It depends on the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now they're all at the radio station and Hector and Reg go to kind of talk through what their plan is going to be. Sam starts broadcasting over the radio waves and is just like, I'm playing different stuff. It's, hey, Comet, everybody's dead, whatever. And we're going to take callers. And she picks up the phone and somebody actually calls in. We don't hear the call. We spend more time with Hector and Reg as Hector's like, what are we going to do? And Reg is like, if you can get me to guns, I will fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
And that is true.
Yeah.
We never see how they get the guns. They just have them later.
I love that they just magicked Uzis. I mean, they did talk about trying to get them, but there was like no mission to get guns.
They didn't magic Uzis. They magicked, I think those are AR-15s. And she says, if Dad was here, he would have gotten us Uzis.
Oh, okay.
Instead.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite of that, but
That's what I thought. I thought it was Uzis.
I mean, she was holding an Uzi in the scene. That's why it was funny if it was the opposite.
They eventually do get Uzis.
Okay.
However, in those initial ones that they have that are shooting at the car, because she improv'd that line and they kept it in the movie. And I have it in fun facts.
Of course.
But that's the only reason I know that they didn't initially have Uzis.
That's so funny.
Is because she says, if Dad was here, he would have gotten us Uzis when the weapon jammed for real. The director told the cast to react to any unexpected occurrences in character since time and budget were tight and they needed to avoid retakes. So here's the other thing that it may have been, because I also am bad at identifying guns in general because I don't gun. It could have been an Uzi and she could have not known that.
Yeah.
But anyway, they basically are like, okay, we got a plan. We're going to get guns. We're going to figure this out. But the call comes through and she's like, hey, somebody answered. They're a bunch of scientists. They're in the desert. They survived. They're trying to figure out where other survivors are. Like, let's figure out where they are. And at this point, they're like, oh, great, other survivors, which you should always be suspicious of because the most dangerous apocalypse monster is man.
Yeah.
Of course. Always.
Yeah.
Always. But also like the zombies.
Yeah. But they'll die eventually. Anyway, we cut to the bunker with the scientists. And they're like, should we go get them? We'll bring them back here and like harvest their blood and shit. But they don't really clarify what they're going to do. But that one lady is just like, we shouldn't bring any more people back here. Like, we should just let ourselves go extinct and they live and whatever. And they're like, no, there's like people in San Bernardino also. And like, we could get this. And she's like, they're probably still infected and it's just going to kill them slower, but they're still going to die. Like, don't experiment on them or whatever. And they're like, you're being silly. Quit typing into the thing computer, because she is absolutely typing into the same thing computer.
Well, and that's what they get, Paige, for inviting a lady scientist down there.
I mean, that's what we'd be doing, giving you guys real numbers.
I didn't get the vibe that they were scientists. I got the vibe that they were Bo and Peep.
Mm-hmm. It T and Doe.
Yeah. it felt Heaven's Gate to me. Like
it seemed a little culty. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I knew you'd get my Bo and Peep reference.
That's right. T and Doe. But we then cut to Sam driving and two zombies pull up on bikes behind her like cops. She wakes up. It's a nightmare. We then cut to her getting naked in the bathroom. Zombie pulls up. It's another nightmare. At this point, Hector is like, hey, I gotta go take a side quest to San Diego because there's not enough plot for this movie.
But when he gets to San Diego, he's got like 2 seconds there. It's over so quickly.
But you need a pretext of not taking him to the mall to create the other drama.
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I would have made them come with me.
Yes.
Right?
100%. Come with me, please.
I was like, let's not get separated. Will you guys come with me to check on my family and then we'll come right back?
At minimum, bang it out before you go.
Right?
Yes.
I might be the last dick on earth. Are you willing to risk it?
For my Triscuits.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone, or I would have had them come with me. But that would have either one ended the movie or...
Right. You picked the driest cracker, by the way, when you said that. Gross.
Yeah, they get desiccated. They turn into powder.
I mean...
That's true.
The joke is sound. It just was gross.
Yeah, Triscuits are gross. You're right. Wheat Thins forever.
But him leaving does set up a conversation between Samantha and her sister, Regina.
Right.
In which she questions whether Hector is a gay man.
Oh, yeah.
Because he treated them politely.
Politely, yes.
Which I found, I'm sure, relatable to many, but sad. I'll just say I found it very sad.
Yeah.
But she keeps saying that, like, if Hector is the last guy and is gay, then things are gonna get interesting.
Right.
And what did she mean by that? If she is insinuating that her and her sister are the only two people left in the world, and that it means things will get interesting, I had so many questions, but the movie refuses to answer any of the questions I cared about.
It does not answer them because this was not shown on Pornhub.
No, yeah. I know, but why would she say it's gonna get interesting if... Whatever. It would get interesting if, like, he was straight and super into it and had a sister fetish.
Yeah.
That would get interesting. It's weird to me that she's like, oh, it's just me and you then? Let's get dangerous. Like, calm down, Darkwing Duck.
I think she meant like we're gonna have to get this man who had, a gay man to propagate the species with us. What an interesting concept.
I mean, this is gonna sound terrible. At that point, maybe humans are just done.
I don't know if 3 people can propagate the species.
Definitely can.
I mean, a lot of incest is gonna have to happen for that to work, and I don't love that.
I think there's a lot more. I think it's like The Stand.
I think there's a lot more survivors. Yes, I agree.
Me too. I think they might be the only ones that are like out and about LA.
Yeah.
Everyone else is either dead or laying low.
Well, we know there's a whole crew at the mall that we're about to meet.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
But first we go on a little side quest with Hector where he goes to San Diego and finds a child zombie and then runs away and somehow gets a Santa suit. We never see how. In fact, he gets multiple costume changes.
He does.
Dude picked up wild resources.
He also, he got a lot of loot in San Diego. His family is dead, but man, did he cash up.
Leveling up his armor, like everything.
Yeah, he went there like a level 3 Grand Theft Auto online player and came back like a hero. Like, the dude's rich as shit, kinda, I guess. It was very funny to me because he just leaves. And it seemed like the actor was like, hey, I can't make it. I got to go visit family. And they were like, where do they live? And he was like, San Diego. And they're like, great.
Take a camera.
We're going to make it a plot point. And they just like shot 30 seconds and then left. I don't know. It just seemed very silly because he's only there to like walk through the house once.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it. And we then cut back briefly to the bunker where that one lady scientist is like suffering from loss of memory. And she's like, I have it. I'm going to die of it. It's happening to me.
She can't remember how to spell memory, and then she can't remember how to write it.
Yes.
I was like, man, if it's progressing this fast, like, I hope no one asks her any medical-based questions, and then someone walks up and is like, how much blood do we need? And she's like, a lot. Like, a lot. It's like, what? No, you don't know anything. Stop playing along. Like, you forgot everything. And they're like, well, you're going to have to go to on this rescue mission that you were vehemently against in the last scene because it's what and I'm quoting here, it's what the majority wants.
Right.
And I was like, gross.
But then we cut to what I will say is one of the most iconic scenes from this movie, which is the 2 sisters on the cop car.
Yeah.
On top of that parking structure in downtown.
Yeah.
With just the skyscrapers behind them. Which looks, I mean, it's still got the weird red haze, but like, it looks so fucking cool. Like, this is when we're like, this movie exists on vibes. That's the vibe.
That's it.
It's 2 teenagers with like Uzis on a cop car.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Anyway, Sam goes into like, there was this boy I had a crush on, but then like everyone's dead. What do we do? And Reg is like, go shopping. And I was like, yay.
I thought it was insane that they were like, the world's over, but I still want to get more stuff. I would be like, I don't want more shit.
I mean, I think of it like this. There's stuff that I could never afford and would never buy, but would love to just wear around for a bit. Like, fuck it, the world is over, man. Dress up however you want.
Oh, I would definitely loot for sure. I think I would see my immediate needs first. Like,
sure, absolutely right. Yes.
You're absolutely right. I'd have 2 Santa suits.
Yeah.
100%. You gotta bring up a backup.
Yeah, and a sack full of Kraft mac and cheese.
My sack's always full.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you would need like food like that. Food that'll stay sort of forever.
I would loot food first.
Yeah.
And then, controversial statement, and I know this is going to maybe trigger some people as Joanne's close across the nation. I have always thought about this, that I would loot food and then I would loot a craft or fabric store.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Because I'm going to need to wear clothes. I'm going to need to repair clothes. I'm going to need to like have pillows or somewhere to sleep or some sort of glue or nails, like all of the, and a hardware store.
There's tons of great crafty shit at like a craft store. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is going to be useful. And that's also in my mind, because I always feel like I mean, and I know in the mist, it's kind of a nightmare, but there's a part of me that's like, if you can hole up in a grocery store, great, until the rats come. Then you want to hole up in a craft store. Like, that place is actually going to have a lot of shit you can use. Anyway, I think about this too much. But we cut to them having fun in the mall, wearing a bunch of stuff, taking, clothes off mannequins, playing music, running around.
Yeah, it's like a montage. Like it's just them shopping around, having a great time.
Love it. But then we see the stock boys watching them on the closed circuit TVs. And I just love that he goes, all right, shoppers, get her, boys. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, Willie's insane. So much so that he's wearing a bathrobe over clothes with his name embroidered on it.
Yes. I love every part of his madness.
Which is exactly what Paige is talking about.
Yes.
He's amazing. He's the guy who says, I'm not crazy. I just don't give a fuck.
I just don't give a fuck. This sounds terrible to be so attached to this character. But as someone who has worked a fuckload of retail, there comes a time when you're like, I would hit these people with a bat. And you think about it and you're like, I can't, I have to resist like it becomes an intrusive thought to just smash a customer's head down onto the cash register. But like, you want to do it. And so I fully see at the end of the world, if I had been like at work as the world ended, great. I'm taking all the knives and now I'm feral. Now, like, you're in this apocalypse with me. Like, it's messed up.
Paige, I have 100% while working in retail wanted to smash someone's head down on the counter like they were Bill Paxton who just said ass like a 10-year-old boy.
Yes.
But you can't do that.
I know.
You can't true lies Bill Paxton. So like you can just like visualize it. But like I got why he was like, no, I'm losing my mind now.
Yeah, now the world's over and there's no one to check me. Everyone's getting bats to the face.
Yeah.
This is the kind of maniac I could see myself turning into during the apocalypse. Not necessarily now. Now I would definitely fortify my home and grow a garden and make my own cheese. But like 10 years ago, I would be like Tina Turner in Beyond the Thunderdome with as many bats as I could find.
Heck yeah.
2-man enter, 1-man leave.
That's what's up.
Dibs on Master Blaster.
Bogo.
Oh, nice.
Bogo.
I mean, as the person who gets to play him, that's me.
Right.
Are you going to be Master or Blaster?
I'll be both.
I mean, Blaster if she asks nicely.
You know
Master if you've got consent, right? That's what's up. Anyway, the helicopter finds the cop car. Mid shootout, because they're now in a shootout with the stock boys and they're like exchanging hostages. And this is where he shoots one of his own guys and is like, I'm not crazy. I don't give a fuck. Fuck these people. Like,
I know.
I don't care.
He's like, you're expendable. I don't give a shit.
Right. But the scientists arrive with guns, shoot all the stock boys, and they tell the sisters, they're like, Reg is going to go back to the base. Sam, you'll go next, but you can wait here for Hector, right? Because Hector's coming back.
Yeah.
They then inject Sam with, we will find out it is just a sedative, but we think she's dead at this point.
Man, the way they do that is so like creepy and effective because it feels like, oh my God, we're watching, I guess, Peep in the movie. Like one of the cult members / scientist or whatever they are. Like she's talked about how we have to kill Samantha. So she's now injecting Samantha with something, but saying it's just going to like counteract the toxins or whatever if she got them. She's not at all telling her that it's going to kill you.
Right.
So like Samantha's just like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah, fine.
As she's being murdered.
It's lip fillers. Don't worry.
It's such a dark scene. I mean, it is revealed, thankfully, that she was just knocking her out with that sodium pentothal or whatever she says.
Yeah.
But man, I thought it was like both effectively creepy and also like such a great way to kill somebody.
Honestly, kind. Like if you got it, because the reason she's giving in this moment, because Sam has a rash and we know that it's from her being nervous. But the scientist lady is like, she's got a rash.
We're not going to chance it.
Yeah.
We're going to kill this bitch. Yeah.
And so she very gently was like, hey, this is going to cure whatever you got. Just lay back. It's fine.
It's technically not a lie because it does cure what she's got.
What she's got. And what she's got is a lack of Hector. And we'll get to it in a bit. But I do think that it's one of those things of like in a zombie apocalypse, if you got bit, if somebody killed me this way, great. Like imagine, in Cloverfield when they like explode. Yeah, if somebody could do this to me instead of that, great.
100%. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. And also, it's a lady doctor's idea, so it's probably not good.
Boo!
Lady doctor, impossible.
That's an oxymoron.
Hey, she did pledge to do no harm, but then she just shoots that guy.
She wasn't acting as his physician.
No, I know. But she's basically like, none of us are going back. They're not taking not my blood, not your blood, nobody's blood. Nobody's going back to the base. I'm making sure of it.
Paige, can I pitch you a moment I want you to put in a zombie survival apocalyptic movie that you're going to write in the future?
Yeah, for sure.
One of the characters is a doctor, and they have their diploma on the wall, and the do no harm is on it, and it's all that. And then he has a moment where the world ends, and he's in his office just looking out, and he gets a Sharpie out of his desk and just crosses through no.
the not. he had do harm.
Yeah, so it just do harm. Hell yeah, Doc, let's go. Bring me my stethoscope and scalpels.
I also, for some reason in my brain, was like, what else could do not harm spell as you were formulating that? Because I was like, he's going to cross it out. And I came up with do not arm and just pictured a doctor fighting with the severed limbs of his patients. Like as giant nunchucks or something.
Oh, you haven't seen my arm chucks? Honestly, I got this set from a guy named Chuck, and it felt great to do it.
Honestly, it's what he would have wanted.
Yeah, they're arm chucks. They're Chuck's arm chucks.
How much arms would Chuck's arms chuck?
All right, stop. I can't.
You disarmed him.
We did. And then we utilized those arms.
Better than being defeated.
Yeah, better than fighting barehanded. Well, I mean, they got claws.
Well, maybe that'd be some gloves. Anyway, so she shoots that guy, and then who should show up but Hector? And she's like, hey, you are pretty cute. By the way, I left a note of my plan because I'm going to die now.
I mean, she literally says, I wrote down everything I can remember. And as she's literally taking her own life, which she's doing sort of on the fuck couch, I guess, in the radio station that Hector went back to.
That definitely looks like a fuck couch.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mikey was right. They definitely have cocaine-fueled Christmas parties up here where someone gets banged on the couch for sure.
Oh, Randy Newman definitely ran a train on people on that couch.
Dead people. Dead people.
Got no business.
Girl and her sister.
Hall & Oates be wrecking throats on that couch, you know what I'm saying? I'm so sorry.
She is a man-eater indeed. She get almost all the way down her throat. Anyway. But I forget what I was saying because I got sidetracked.
She killed herself on the fuck couch.
Yes, she did.
She's trying to be honorable.
Yeah, she kills herself while he's trying to decipher her notes. And I'll remind you that 4 hours ago, movie time, she forgot how to write the word memory. So what did those notes even look like?
Is that why he shows up in a Santa suit where he was like, well, the notes said, and then later he's dressed like a cowboy, which thank you. But was that in the notes?
Maybe. I don't know. The notes can't have made any sense.
Howdy, partner. If you reading this, I dead on fuck couch. Yeah. Anyway, we cut to the base where Reg is being interviewed, and they're like, have you ever been had hepatitis or anemia? You've been pregnant? She's like, I thought so once, but I wasn't. Stressful. And then we cut to them taking blood from other survivors that they found.
Yeah.
And they're like, how much blood do we need? 300 cc's? And I was like, that sounds like too much blood.
Is it?
That sounds like a lot of blood.
I'm not a doctor. It seems like a lot of blood.
How much blood in a person?
I think 300 cc's is 3 tubes. It's not that much.
How much blood in a human body? 5 liters. But how much is a cc? Fuck.
Great.
Fucking metric
Somebody
system.
ask CC how many liters that is.
It is 0.0793 liquid gallons.
That also is not helpful at all.
And they're killing. It's 10 ounces. It is half a Coke.
None of those make sense for what the movie is using as a unit of metric. What is the CC count on any of those metrics? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we need a can of Coke of blood out of her.
Someone's got to tell me, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently 300 cc's is 10 ounces.
Cool.
And a can of Coke is 12 ounces.
Or used to be before shrinkflation. America. Anyway, they're gonna hook up the kids. And so they're like, okay, go get the kids. We'll, set them up and take their blood too. We get the real easy street joke layup of cancer. You have cancer? No, I am a cancer. What else do you need to know about me? Come on.
I was like, why are you getting into all this? This is a first date? What are we talking about? By the way, 300 cc's is 10 ounces?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what Mikey just said. Yeah.
Okay.
I just said that.
Yeah, but how much blood is in a human body?
5 gallons.
5 gallons. A lot of blood. There's a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. It's not that much. in the grand scheme of blood.
How much when you donate blood, how much do they take?
A pint?
They take as little as possible, but sometimes they got to take like a few ounces. But like, no, they take a pint.
Yeah, they take a pint. So like, what's that, like 16 ounces?
Yeah, I think so.
So this is less than you would give.
If you donated.
I love that we don't even know our own empirical system of measurement. We're like, how many? How much blood is blood?
Wait, is cc's imperial?
Cubic centimeters. So it's not an exact
metric. But Todd has asked an important question I don't think you realized. On a first date, would you like to know if they have cancer?
Yeah, probably. But I mean,
you can usually tell.
Here's the thing. That's not a deal breaker for me. I mean, like, I just, hey, that's probably important to who you are. So I should probably know that.
Wait, do you mean have cancer or are a cancer?
Both.
Oh, I don't care if they are a cancer at all. I do want to know if they have cancer because I feel like that's going to factor into our relationship and how things go. But like, it's not a deal breaker. But being a cancer, total deal breaker.
I love that Paige wants to know because she wants, her next question is like, all right, cool. So I know this is the first date and all, but like, who's your beneficiary?
We gotta get Paige off that Make-A-Wish app.
No, I think of it more because here's the thing: modern day people survive cancer a lot, but I mean, your life's gonna be different, and that's not necessarily a deal breaker. But like, if you're going through that, I kind of want to know about it, because I'm getting to know you. But if you are a Cancer, fuck y'all. If you're a Sagittarius, I don't even know why we're talking. I'm kidding.
If you're a Stegosaurus, I'm into it.
Yeah. If you're a Brontosaurus, what that neck do?
Yo,
like, I got to know all these things.
Eat it like a compy.
Oh, no. That was real bloody in the second Jurassic
No, thanks, Todd. I prefer swallows, not spits.
Oh! What are you, the Pope with that crazy collar?
We're about to get a new Pope, I think.
I do think we're about to get a new Pope. And I feel like it's wild that on that guy's like way out, he's just like, trans people are okay. Gay people are cool. I'm like, bro, you waited till now?
Paige,
come on.
At least someone from the church finally said that. It's been 2,000 fucking years. Like, yeah.
I know. No, 100%.
I would too. That's why I waited till now to say all this bad stuff on the podcast. I don't want the hate mail, Like, I'd be on my deathbed and be like, pit bulls are bad dogs.
Oh, no, Mikey. It depends on how they're raised.
Mikey, I don't remember you saying anything controversial on your guesting episodes, so.
Definitely not about Australia.
Ice Cube is their favorite singer because it's gonna be a good day.
Oh, God damn it.
I did a music joke. I want to hear that song just in an Australian accent. AI.
No, don't. Ray Gun might hear it and then try to dance to.
Thank God she retired so someone else can be finally like the face of breakdancing. She's just been she's been at the top of her game for so long. Like she just like.
That could have been the coolest fucking Olympic sport. And then they had to ruin it.
No face. No.
No, dude, have you seen people like legit do it? It's incredible.
I see breakdancing. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's practically gymnastics at certain points.
I agree, but are we going to let ballet in? And I'm fine with it, but like at what point do you... Yeah, I don't care.
I wouldn't be sad about ballet being in or ballroom dancing. I don't give a shit.
Line dancing? Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Why not?
Honestly, Hector at the end of this movie could have been in the line dancing Olympics.
Man, fuck all that noise. I want the Hunger Games.
That's actually going to get me to watch the Olympics right there for sure.
I want every country to send 2 people and they just kill each other.
See, I don't want this. This is why I didn't watch real Squid Game, because I'm like, I feel like you guys missed the point of the movie Squid Game or the show Squid Game.
No, I liked real Squid Game precisely because they missed the point. It's like it circled back around.
I was like, y'all made a whole fucking series about why this is the worst, and then you just made it for real?
I know. Like, it's so funny.
Come on.
You know what's funny to me is like this like international property had this really, really awesome nuanced like look at capitalism and what it does to a society. And an American creator was like, Yeah, let's do that though.
Exactly though.
I think that's what made it funnier.
I didn't watch it, but like that is hilarious.
I mean, it is darkly funny.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, that is hilarious.
Oh, Todd, you should watch it. They make them wear like the blood packs, and then so when they get eliminated, their like vest blows up.
What? Oh my God, that is like a little painful and humiliating.
Well, because like Mondo watched some of it and I was like, do they understand why it's funny that they even tried to do that? Like,
No.
Do they understand how tone deaf this is? And he's like, not at all, not even a little bit.
But no, they like lean more into it, which makes me think someone along was like, I think this is funnier if we just act like it's funnier.
If we just do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No,
but anyway, I want an international, like not a war, but like a competition where countries kill each other.
Earlier you said each country sends people and they just kill each other. And I'm like, that is a war. Like that.
No, two people. I want it like Eurovision, but more violent.
Oh man. Can we just have Eurovision and get into Eurovision in America?
From Norway, we have Hansa Flurg, who's a spearing specialist.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
his partner, Hansel and Gret. I don't know. But like, that would be awesome. I'm here for like the Eurovision murder contest.
But here's the thing. I don't want Americans involved because we wreck it. Because here's the thing. Eurovision is so beautifully weird because we're not involved. And if we tried to do it, it would be basic and awful.
No, I don't want us to do it. I just want us to be participants.
Right.
I don't even want that necessarily. But how do you narrow it down to two people from the entire country? We'd send like Green Berets over there, just wreck fools.
You just pick a day and you say every country send your last two retired professional wrestlers.
Oh, damn. Sad though.
Is it sad? They have one more chance.
I mean, one of these days it'll be Dave Bautista's time, and I'm not okay with that.
Royal Rumble, Royal Revenge. We'll you know, like we'll put them in a big ring, in a big arena.
I mean, what happens when it's The Rock? Are people just ready to give up The Rock?
Yes.
I think people are kind of, yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay.
He's weighing us down.
Because he's a rock, Paige.
Because he's a rock.
Because he's a rock. Yeah, no, I know. I spelled you were cooking.
Sorry, we were going too fast. I had to distract us for 15 minutes.
You distracted us for 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Paige.
Thank you.
Listen, sometimes guys exaggerate how long something they're doing takes, okay?
I'm familiar.
Every time I'm in the gym and we like hold a plank for 30 seconds and I'm like, what are y'all complaining about? This feels like forever.
I'm actually weirdly good at planking. It's like one of the few things I'm good at. But I think it's just because I have a low center of gravity and I have short limbs.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just like rock solid.
You're like, I was President George W. Bush, sit and reach champion in 8th grade.
I was pretty good at the sit and reach, actually. I was not good at the running the mile or anything.
I was and still am terrible, and George Bush wants me to stop telling him about it.
Yeah, you young kids today, you never took the president's fitness test. Because you're pieces of shit, Gen Z.
I think it's because our current president's fitness test would be how fast you can walk to and from a McDonald's to bring him food and how many vaccines you didn't get.
So what you're saying is it's pretty much just like Reg from this movie after she slept with the projectionist?
I mean, I would hope she was vaccinated against projectionists, but I can't guarantee.
I was trying to fit in a projecting joke, but I just couldn't do it. But I want you guys at home to think of your own.
Mikey, do you think he projected all over her face or?
Oh,
No.
Chest, please. They didn't have anything to wipe her down with.
They had plenty of loose film.
For $15, I ain't doing it. I'm staying in.
You're not paying for the sex, Mikey. You're paying for, I guess, the companionship.
No, he's projecting his genealogy into the future from this encounter. That's why he's staying in.
Night of the Stars, where you B-movie stars from all over the world fight to the death.
Okay, but we got to give Bruce Campbell some sort of robot body so he can, like, Army of Darkness his way through it.
He's too famous. We got to go like Casper Van Dien. Like I want to have to Google a little bit when it comes on. Like, who's that guy? He looks kind of familiar.
You're like, yeah, I definitely have seen him in something.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter because he just died, but like.
I will say, and not to bring us down, but we are vamping for time. Reggie Bannister entered hospice.
Yeah.
Our hero from the Phantasm universe. And you know what? If anyone could save the world for us, I think it's Reggie.
I think it is Reggie.
With his music and wiles.
And quadruple shotguns.
Yeah, the quadruple shotguns. and the chainsaw fights.
Mm-hmm.
That super long chainsaw from that shelf. Anyway, let's get back to the movie.
Okay, fine.
We really weren't that far behind, Mikey. We were at 1 hour and 20.
I just wanted to talk about weird shit for a second.
Okay, what other weird shit do you want to talk about? How do you feel about Severance?
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But my main question is, if I paid you $15, would you snort someone's red calcium?
Yes.
Ooh.
Wait, $15 in 1984?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. No, because in the apocalypse, money means nothing. The only currency is the blade.
Wesley Snipes is the currency?
Do you not want Wesley Snipes on your apocalypse team? That dude gonna fuck people up.
Paige is over here writing Book of Eli too.
I strongly dislike that movie.
I know, Mikey, we've talked about it, but yeah.
So they're in the bunker.
They're in the bunker, and she's done answering questions. He is quickly, the guy asking her the questions, the scientist guy is quickly turning. Like, he is losing his fight with the disease.
Yeah.
And they bring the kids in to try and like, shh, kids, you're going to go see Santa. We're going to steal your blood, but then you're going to live at the North Pole.
That whole bunker is really an inhospitable place because they're all dying.
Yes.
And they're mean.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is what y'all missed.
They've all got real wearing the same Nike shoe energy.
More like do no charm, am I right?
Oh, there we go. I'm going to use that on my brother.
Anyway, a fancy car pulls up. It is Hector, and he gets out.
Dressed like a cowboy. You called it out earlier, but this is where he goes full cowboy.
It's a good look. But he kind of talks with the guy on the other side of the gate to try and get them through and into the base, and then opens the trunk, revealing that Sam is not dead.
Right.
She was just sleeping. And now they're both up and ready to fuck shit up in the base.
Yeah. And if you feel bad for this soldier, know that the reason he came to the trunk is because Hector was like, do you like girls? I got one in my trunk. And he was like, yes, I do. So like, you're fine with him dying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. As they're trying to get those kids under the influence, Reg is now kind of escaped because she attacked.
Under the influence of like laughing gas, mind you.
Yes.
Not like someone's not like force feeding them alcohol.
Shh, drink the shots. It tastes like cinnamon. But Reg is also now free because she has kind of attacked the guy who was asking her questions. She's now roaming the hallways.
Yeah.
She finds the kids and is like, I'm sorry, were you about to steal these kids' fucking blood? And the girls are like, and she's like, all right.
Yeah, we have to kill them for the whole half cup that we need.
Right? But meanwhile, Hector and Sam are there too. And essentially, the bulk of the rest of this is they all kind of run their way around this like base as the people at the base slowly turn more and more into zombies until they all get their way out to Hector's car. And then Hector drives away and stops and is like, fuck y'all and the click you claim. And then they just wait for that van to explode because the scientists get into it. He's like, I smell gas. He turns the ignition. The van explodes. Huge.
This is why they tell you to not spill gasoline on the inside of your car because the next time you start it, your car will explode twice.
Double explosions.
I thought it was so funny that he just like spilled gasoline on their seats and then the whole thing exploded.
Up in flames.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. It was leaded.
As in he led them to the place where they would explode.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah.
But we get a shot of rain washing all the people dust into the LA water supply, which is a problem for another day.
It's going to make your bones strong, Paige. Drink that calcium.
Yeah.
So strong. We cut to ostensibly sometime in the future where they're like putting the guns in a trash can. Like some other marauder's not going to find them.
Right. Like, why would you do that?
Always keep your guns.
Yeah.
I would keep a gun on me because people are the most dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
And again, I'm saying this in the apocalypse. Like today, hey, guns, you're more likely to hurt yourself than others. So be careful or whatever. But in the apocalypse, all bets are off. I'm keeping all the guns, all the machetes, all the bullets, all the bats.
Oh, yeah. Why would you? I don't understand why you would throw your guns away at all.
Not in the apocalypse. No, never.
It's still like, at this point, I get that like the people have washed away or whatever. And I would imagine that the people who were like turned into zombies also are now dust.
Right.
So we don't even really have to worry about that because it's sort of a quick acting virus or whatever. I don't know. The movie never explains it.
But there's still other survivors and you can't fucking trust them.
That's the scary part, right? Exactly. So keep your guns.
You're coming up with my favorite joke of the film, which is why we keep my guns, where she's like, you got to use the crossbow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're right there. Yeah.
Civilization is up to us that we still have to use crosswalks.
You have to wait for the crossing. And she's like, what?
Right. But Sam goes to cross against the light and a car comes out of nowhere, which we haven't seen a car in forever. And it's a young guy who's like, you guys are survivors too? Awesome. And she's like, yo, nice car. And he's like, get in it. Let's go bang in my 23 cars. So they're definitely just going to like bang until they tired of banging anymore and leave this weird family behind.
Yeah, and this happens just after Sam on the other side of the street was like, I guess I'll just like become a nun, because it's clear that like Hector has already been claimed by a Reg. Like Regina is like all up in that.
Yes. And he's cute, so good for her.
Yeah,
but like,
he got that Star Trek money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's doing it wrong though. I would give her the other girl the kids and then go make new kids with Reg.
Or just continue making a bunch of kids. But here's the thing, they got to find more survivors because so that a couple generations from now, those kids have more options.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
Anyway, we find out that this dude is Danny Mason Keener, a.k.a. DMK, the other high scorer from the game cabinet earlier. and that's the movie.
So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what'd you think about Night of the Comet? Tell me everything.
Love the vibes.
Yeah.
Want that cheerleader outfit. Want to sit on a cop car in it.
Nice. Okay. Let's do a photo shoot, baby. I love this movie. I thought it was great. I really do think it's awesome that like both of your female lead characters are kind of badass.
Yeah.
In a sort of believable way. Like they don't do anything like crazy over the top superhero, but like their dad was a Green Beret or is a Green Beret in a tank, slowly making his way up from Central America. But I think that like everything, even though it's insane, sort of made sense. It was fun. Like even like the special effects were fine. I don't know. Anyway, I really liked it. I thought it was great. Mikey, what'd you think?
I think that I still love this film.
Yeah.
It is like a comfort movie to me. It's like a fun watch. It's always a fun watch. It was a fun watch as a kid. And I looked it up. To propagate the species, they need at least 50 individuals, but the preferred number would be 500.
I mean, I bet there are 50 survivors in LA at least. Like, I bet that that's possible.
Yeah, probably.
They would just have to, like, figure out where everybody is and, like, who's bangable, who's not, what's going on.
I think it'll be like a stand situation where they're like, hey, we're all in Denver. Come on up. You know, like, we're all going to meet up in Denver and create a new society.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the way to go. You know, maybe not Denver, but, like, wherever you end up.
Yeah, that's what they did in the stand. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the film. I think it's silly. It's fun. It's an easy watch.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it a lot. I'll watch it again. I enjoyed watching it today. But, Paige.
Yes.
Do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, hit us with your fun facts.
Comet fun facts. I talked about them improvising the Uzi line. Very fun. But also, some of the disc jockey dialogue was improvised as well.
By the tape? How do they get a tape to improvise, Paige?
No, when Sam is DJing.
Oh, okay, my bad.
She's
Sorry,
improvising.
my bad.
And so one of them is that she's taking requests from all you teenage mutant comet zombies, which was the working title of the film and probably
great.
on the script sides that she got. Now, this was filmed in Los Angeles, similar to 28 Days Later, where it was filmed in the early morning on normal business days, and they only had the time between stoplights to film a lot of those scenes where they would stop a stoplight for slightly longer, but they would literally have to like run out, shoot, and then run back out of the street to let traffic go through because it's Los Angeles.
That's crazy.
I mentioned the El Rey is still there. You can still see it whenever you want. It is at, if you're curious, 5515 Wilshire Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90036.
All right.
There you go. The two police officers in the nightmare were their location cops that were in charge of stopping the red lights.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah, so they ended up in it.
But they're like in makeup. Like they actually sat in makeup to do that. That's awesome. That's good for them.
Well, it's because they filmed it separate. So they filmed them riding behind her separate. Those are the location cops. And then the car was in a soundstage.
Gotcha.
So they like,
that makes sense. Okay.
So Sharon Farrell, who played Doris, actually slapped Kelly Maroney for real because they were getting tired of doing extra takes. And the director didn't really like the reaction they were getting. So they just did it for real. And that's the take they kept.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. The pictures of Hector's family that he takes from the house are actually various family members of writer-director Tom Eberhardt's wife.
Okay.
And the little boy in those scenes is the son of Sharon Farrell, who played Doris in the film.
What? Awesome. Okay.
Because he was like on set. Kelly Maroney did keep one of the 2 cheerleader outfits that she had in the movie. Good for her. And when writing the screenplay, Tom Eberhard asked teenagers for their input on what they would do if they survived the end of the world. Teenagers be dumb, so they did not loot a grocery store first. They went to the mall.
In the 80s, that makes sense for teenagers. Yeah.
The album that Samantha tosses over her shoulder when DJing is the soundtrack to Valley Girl. Valley Girl, which was briefly one of the most sought-after albums of the 1980s. And we've done Valley Girl on Romancing the Pod, I believe.
Yes, we have.
Yes. The production designer used what he described as, quote, a comic book aesthetic for the film's overall look. Characters have specific colors.
I could see it, yeah.
You can absolutely see it with Reg and Sam being in brighter, more bold tones.
Yeah.
And everyone else being in kind of more muted tones. That also, this movie it looks at times like comic book panels. And I think that's actually a really, they didn't have a lot of money. And so at least they went for a defining, interesting look, knowing that they had limitations.
I think that it works. Nothing is attempted and pulled off badly.
Yes.
So you're just living in the world that they've effectively created for a low budget.
Right.
I thought it was a great way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. The director's car is the abandoned car at the stoplight.
Nice. Okay.
Which is pretty fun. Catherine Mary Stewart, who played Reg, did most of her own stunts, except for riding the motorcycle through Los Angeles. The long shots are a stunt woman, while the close-ups are her on a flatbed truck.
Yeah.
On the motorcycle. Yeah. Most of the think tank base was done with miniatures and forced perspective.
What?
So even when we're outside the base and there's fences and tanks, a lot of that are miniatures and forced perspective.
That's awesome.
Right?
And effectively done. I didn't notice that. That's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. In the mall, when they're playing Girls Just Want to Have Fun, it sounds a little bit off. That's because they couldn't afford the Cyndi Lauper version. So they had someone re-record it to save money. And finally, the arcade game that she has the high score on is Tempest by Atari.
Okay.
And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Night of the Comet in 1984?
I'm going to say they had 1.5 million.
Okay.
3 million.
Nice. This movie cost $700,000.
Oh, damn. Good for them. This looks incredible for $700,000.
It really does. That's like $2.1 million today, which is
that's still
such
low.
a small budget.
That's still a small budget.
So low. But back in the day, it was actually $700,000. At least that's the source I could find, was $700,000. Now, it came out on November 16th, 1984, and it was number 3 the weekend it came out. It got beat by the number 1 movie, Missing in Action. The number 2 movie was Oh God, comma, You Devil, exclamation point. Number 3 was Night of the Comet. Number 4 was a movie no one's heard of called The Terminator. And number 5 was Just the Way You Are. Now, I do want to point out that Night of the Comet technically beat The Terminator in box office for 1 week, and that to me is awesome. Anyway.
Well, it's because Terminator was by an unknown starring unknowns at the time. Everyone forgets it because it's endured so much, but at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it had been out 4 weeks and only brought in almost $19 million by the end of its 4th week. So yeah, I mean, it's not like it made $100 million domestically. I think it made close to 40 or something like that. Anyway, but Night of the Comet was 3rd that weekend. What do you think it brought in its opening weekend?
Ooh, opening weekend, I'm going to say it made $6 million.
I'm going to say $1 million.
You're about on either side of it. It actually brought in $3.5 million in its opening weekend, but that's way more than the movie budget was. So already they're doing great, right? It was in the top 5 for its first 3 weeks, and then it was 6 in its 4th week, and then it fell out of the top 10 and was out of theaters after 2 months. But what do you think it made domestically at the box office? Well, this is worldwide. It didn't get an international release, so it's technically worldwide.
I'm going to say $9 million.
All right, Mikey, what do you think?
7?
Yeah, so it made $14.6 million.
Good for them.
Again, on a $700,000 budget. It did so good. I mean,
how did it not get a sequel?
That's so good. Anyway, that, if you adjust for inflation, would be $44.6 million today. But that is your box office. Mikey, do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Yeah, scary scale listeners, this is how scary found the film today. Our 1 example is Ghostbusters. Our 10 example is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not a scale of quality, just how scared we were. Paige?
It's going to be a 1 for me.
Todd?
yeah, it's not trying to be scary. It's a 1 for me as well.
It is also a 1 for me. And that's our scary scale.
Well, this week, Mikey, you made us watch Night of the Comet. Next week, we're doing listener requests, and the listeners sort of whittled all the possible Mikey movie options down to these 4 choices, and they were Cocaine Bear, Slither, Slaughterhouse, and Willy's Wonderland. And I gotta be honest with you, it was actually pretty close between Cocaine Bear and Slither, but Slither eked it out by 1 percentage point with 33% of the vote. Cocaine Bear, literally 32%. So it was very close, guys. But your homework for next week is to watch Slither and then report back for what is Mikey's last episode as we enter the last episode of Mikey Movie March.
Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week, I'm going to read a review that came in on our most recent, and because of how we had to record these, the most recent episode was the Night of the Demons episode. I'm going to read this comment by Elizabeth, and they say, somehow, this is the second movie I've seen this week with a death by breakfast pie.
Ooh.
Weird.
And
Elizabeth, that is weird, and I immediately want to know what the other movie was.
Yeah, right?
But I'm glad we brought you one of them at least. But if you want to have me read your 5-star Apple review or Spotify comment, leave us a Spotify comment or a 5-star Apple review, and I'll do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast, some might call it a sister podcast, called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies, because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter, because you got that before some CEO lady, and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ooky spooky.
Yeah.
Have an amazing week.
Bye. This movie was way better than I thought it would be, nerds. I really liked it.